What's up, my friends in the film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time. You know, we're done with all that crazy stuff from the upside down. Now it's time to commit ourselves to the much more lighter, airier, post-nuclear apocalyptic world. I feel like it's just a lot brighter color schemes, probably a little more positive, but we still get the cool monsters, radioactive doodads and whatnot. We get some, what is that drug that she was on? The fuck it all or whatever.
Buff out.
Yeah, buff out. Yeah, buff out.
And
Yeah. We're coming up off our buff out highs, and we're heading on to the last half of this season of Fallout, which has been good so far. Been enjoying it very much. Here to break it down with me is my hetero life mate Jeremy and Fallout connoisseur. What's going on, brother?
Another week, another walk in the wasteland. So almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter. But I need to watch my words because again we're on another one of those things here where we all talk about how there's for a whole week all we talk about is there's gonna be a snowstorm that's gonna kill us all. And it's like okay, and then it's gonna maybe snow like on Saturday or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've already been told that Monday may either be a day off or a half day. I'm looking at it. I'm like, why don't we just take the whole week off? It's supposed to be a high for most of the week of 15 degrees at the lows, somewhere in the single digits. And I'm like, how about I just not leave my house for a week while snowpocalypse is happening?
Yeah, right.
My
snowpocalypse.
My warm-blooded California self does not like that kind of weather. Not my preferred way of doing things, but one of these days.
I'm from here and I still hate it. I'm telling you, I've never. I might be used to it, but damn, I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, nobody from a warm weather area ever gets mad that the weather is warm, but like people that grew up in Ohio are like, yeah, we hate weather. We hate winter. Winter sucks. It's like, well then.
Yeah, like I said, I grew up here. I'm used to it, but like I said, I'm still not happy about it. Like returning to Bob's Burgers, like, all right, but I'm gonna complain the whole time.
Complain the whole damn time, as well we should, because we have to deal with this nonsense.
We're hardy people, but God, we got to suffer for it.
Let's see. Let's get right into it. We start off pretty much where we left off last week with monster hunting down our heroes on episode 5 of Fallout Season 2. Starts with us back in the heart of New Vegas. Death claws are surrounding Lucy and Ghoul, who decide to run for it. I mean, boy, a pretty cool action piece right off the jump. I mean, now it's not just one death claw, it's actually 3, which I was like, holy hell, is there a way out of this? Jeremy, give me your quick thoughts on just this very awesome action-filled opening sequence in which he has to basically light off a grenade as a distraction to get away from these death claws.
Well, that's about the appropriate response, honestly. That or it's start slinging lead, because I mean you got 2 options there. Yeah, it's terrifying enough seeing one death claw, but then when you look around and you realize there's 3 of them, let alone, I mean, at that point one's enough, but when you get like a whole family of them in there, that's definitely a problem. Probably the best idea is to run again if you want to maybe conserve some ammo, because once you get to a point where it's like you can probably afford the really big gun and the ammo for it, you're talking about 50 cal rounds, like, so unless you feel confident in that, and that to be fair, there is a glitch in New Vegas if you don't have the DLCs. By the way, if you have a game that's updated with the DLCs, the glitch is taken out, but there is one where you can basically just have an infinite flow of caps to the point where you basically break your Pit Boys counters. Like, it won't even register. It'll just say like 1 million plus or whatever. It won't even try to read how many caps you have. So then you can afford all the guns and ammo you want, honestly, and then you can just go around just one-shotting everything, basically. Yeah, but terrifying if you're kind of the only people in there. I think even Dogmeat had the right idea. He immediately took off when he saw him too. So, yeah, god damn, I that's an obstacle that I'm not really sure how you deal with that. I mean, I know Lucy even said like, okay, well then what gun should I use? And I was like, I said the same thing almost. I was like, what's the biggest one you have? Like, you got a rocket launcher in there?
You got a rocket launcher in there?
Well, then I guess we're running. Like, yeah, that's all you can do.
Yeah, it also kind of furthered this thing that the ghoul is like genuinely afraid of these things. It's like he
Should
seems
be,
so
yeah.
cool. He seems so cool in the face of all the chaos of the apocalyptic wasteland, but it's like he sees this particular monster, and it's something that kind of trips him out and kind of shorts his brain a little bit. But it's interesting to see how that's going to kind of grow in the future because. I mean, obviously, we got that reaction from him at the end of the last episode, and then we have kind of his very scared reaction here. They get away, and then he hasn't messed with them again yet. So at least that we've seen, and we are a couple episodes behind. But I'm interested to see him have to go up against those things again. I'd assume that they're going to be significant at least one more time. There's going to be another time where they come across each other in this season. But given the way that things ended for the ghoul in this episode, he's got other things in his mind right now. We fast forward to the middle of the day, and where's my picture of them walking around? There we go on Freeside. Fast forward to the middle of the day, and the pair evade their captors. The ghoul also mentions how before the war there was a plan for a special vault designed for management. He says that's where the ghoul's wife and daughter are and explains why he's been searching so hard for them. He also believes this is where they're going to find Hank hiding out too. Quite a bit of exposition in this relatively short scene. What we've all kind of known, I mean, especially you having played the game and having that exposure to it, that both their paths are kind of aligned right now. Not that they're teammates, but both their paths are kind of the same right now. What do you think of the exposition and the explanation in that scene?
Yeah, it's again, which we'll get into a little more later. It is kind of a weird. I don't want to say uneasy, but like a weird friendship that they have. I maybe even hesitate to call it a friendship, but they do have a common, kind of a common enemy, maybe for different reasons, and kind of a similar goal of like getting to said person, which is of course Lucy's dad. Although I'm still not quite sure what Lucy plans on doing. I know she says like I want to bring him to justice. I'm like, what does that mean though? What does it entail, Lucy? Like, what are you actually going to do when you get in there? Is she I'll skip ahead a slight bit. I'm like, well, she did take the Addictol and got immediately flushed out of her drugs. I'm like, well, see, is this gonna be sober Lucy or this gonna be drugged up Lucy that goes in there to confront her dad? So different decisions. But the ghoul seems to have a pretty clear goal in mind of trying to get back to his wife and his daughter. So yeah, by whatever means. And it is mentioned a little later, like, I'm pretty sure that is what Lucy was to him, is like, I'm not trying to be your friend here. I'm trying to, you're basically my bargaining chip just for my own reasons. Like, well, yeah, that's fair. I mean, shit, kind of like how The Last of Us started, like with Joel and Ellie. It's like he wasn't trying to like, get attached to her. He's like, you're just the job. You're just the cargo. I got to get you from A to B. That's it. And then circumstances happen, things along the way, and you get a traumatic journey, and you become like a surrogate father daughter kind of thing. But yeah, with these two, I'm like, yeah, you guys could be cool, but yeah, you're gonna, for selfish reasons, that's what's gonna prevail here. But I'm not surprised because I believe there are vaults that have like higher up, like important people. Like I think there was actually supposed to be a vault that housed like high-ranking officials, like I think government officials even. I'm pretty sure they got screwed over by what became the Enclave. I'm trying to remember how that happened. They even kind of got the tables turned on them, which is interesting. So not out of the realm of possibility. That is a thing. I'm surprised they didn't. I think I saw it in the background once of one of those shots of Vegas. I think when they first got there and they saw the Deathclaw. Vault 21 is in fact on the actual strip, although it's like a hotel and shop for Vault text. Let me see what it is. I had it pulled up. Vault 21, formerly called the Vault 21 Hotel and Shop, unmarked location. Well, it's not really unmarked. It's got a big neon sign out front. You can't miss it. In the Vegas Strip. Yeah, I mean, that's there, but it's not like it's really going to help them. So, yeah. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I thought that was a lot of interesting talk right there. 'Cause we're finally for the first time seeing a few cracks in the Ghoul, which I think is interesting. It's not just the obviously facing down this physical threat of the death claws, but he is also getting closer to his end game of finding his wife and daughter, which is obviously having an effect on him. And I thought that was really the driving force of this episode. Is there's a lot of inner turmoil in him right now that really shines through in this entire episode, which I thought was very, very interesting. And that was kind of where it all kind of starts in this episode. And moving on, we'll get it. Obviously, this next section deals with that more, with the death claws kind of circling in place. They need to try to find another route in. While the Ghoul knocks back a few whiskeys at a local bar, he sends Lucy over to Sonny's. Yeah, he sends Lucy over to Sonny's convenience store to get some Addictol in order to shake her addiction. When Lucy shows up at the store, she notices the price of Addictol has gone way up, and she doesn't really have the funds to pay for it. But probably still reeling from a little bit of the drugs in her system. She decides to go ahead and steal a few things. It was an interesting walk around that empty shop for her. She gives her sneaking skills to go, and although she grabs the Addictol and a power fist weapon, she also finds a dead body stashed in a barrel. And I very funnily captioned this one "Cano Human." The man behind the bar, Simon, questions. Questions what the man behind the bar, Simon, questions what she's doing when things escalate. Lucy eventually shoots the guy dead. Lucy leaves the store in disbelief that she has killed somebody, puking up the drugs and finally getting rid of her addiction, but having some mental things that kind of linger at the end of the day. What do you think of that whole sequence from Lucy? Because I think part of that might have been the addiction. I think part of it is just that she is fundamentally changing as well.
Yeah, it seems like her morality has kind of been a little shaken, again, clouded by the fact that she was on drugs there for a minute. But I mean, we assume at this point she's already kind of coming down from it. And yeah, that right there, we're like, oh, look, character arcs, character development. I mean, it's like she even still tried to, she's getting to a point now where she walked in there and Flutout was like, yeah, I'm going to steal some of the stuff. It's like, yeah, why not? Sure. Only to get caught by the absolutely the real owner of the store. Where he's doing his best truffle shuffle. Yeah. That was hysterical. And there were so many good quotes. Yeah. I'm glad. Yeah. This guy.
I don't know if you saw what I captioned that. I don't know if you saw what I captioned that picture on the studio either.
I did not actually. Casey did make an appearance this episode. Good
I captioned it. Casey is raw.
Damn. I thought the hat was a little goofy, and then I was like, and it just zooms out, just like no words. He's just like, she's like, "Are you actually the store owner?" He's like, "Yeah." Like, so he walked in here naked, and I had to use that. Like, out of all the quotes, it's like it's not weird to rob a store naked. I couldn't help it.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, that's probably not the weirdest thing that's happened in the Wasteland, to be fair. But yeah, no, she still tried the it's like, sir, don't reach for that gun. I'm warned, dude, I'll kill you. And then he takes a fucking shot at her and she kills him. It's like, well, I mean, it's a little bit different than how she usually tries, like, to approach situations by like talking people down. And then she kind of just and then it's like, okay, well, now we're shooting. It's like she almost kind of had a Han Solo moment there, man. If she just kind of shot him in the store and killed him. It's like she has that realization, kind of, maybe if that was the post clarity of like, oh crap, like, man, what did I just do? Like, that's a hell of a road to go down. I expected her for a second when that lady walks in. She's like, "Who are you?" I thought she was gonna be like, I'm Sunny now, like, I'm the store owner now, I guess. But no, yeah, she's having a time right now. Now that she just cooked her on somebody.
Yeah, it's interesting that we went in the span of like one episode's worth of show, an hour or so worth of show. She goes from whacking all the zombified
Kings.
Elvis impersonators and be like to this. I mean, things have changed drastically. Now, granted, she's probably coming, like I said, she's probably coming down off her high, and she eventually does. She eventually does get the stuff out of her system and has this little puke session right in the middle of the road. Which, of course, I had the shot. I don't know what the hell I did with it, but yeah. So yeah, her character's journey is definitely getting very, very interesting. But
Shit, man.
go ahead.
Oh no, like yeah, you gotta go through the shit sometimes, and you're gonna have to do some stuff you weren't expecting to be doing. To be fair.
Yeah, while all this is going on, the Ghoul is reflecting on his past as Coop shows up in Vegas in a flashback right on the eve of Robert House and the other leaders gathering for a big conference. He is tasked with killing House to save the world. Katie Williams speaks to him in secret, pleading with him to do this deed for the good of humanity. That's which I don't know exactly what they know at this point either, but one way or another, they're trying to get him to kill Mr. House. Instead, Coop has another idea. He agrees to stop the exchange and get the cold fusion for her, but laments the idea of killing anybody. And of course, while he's walking around the Lucky 38, he is invited by someone who has been at least the public face of Mr. House to come up and see the man himself in his private suite. It turns out House is actually aware of the assassination plot and kind of challenges him over a little bit. Apparently, House was there in Alaska and saw, or at least saw through his machine's eyes, what happened. We saw a couple episodes ago, or last episode, what Hank did with the death clause in his natives. He thinks it's connected to the future and to Coop's wife as well. The reason House is acquiring cold fusion from Vault-Tec stems from the fact that it'll allow him to stay alive in robotic form throughout New Vegas. Having run the numbers, House believes that this world is going to end on April 14th, 2065 at around 5:17 a.m. It's very specific. This also happens to be Cooper's daughter's birthday, as well as the day that the bombs will drop. Apparently, when Coop bought this ticket to Vegas, he was actually pushing the date for the end of the world forward, which it doesn't really explain why. House is uneasy around Coop being such a wild card variable, and theorizes there could be another variable or an unknown player that they are not seeing. And boy, that gives us a whole lot of story that I actually went back and rewound and watched that whole sequence again, because I was like, there's going to be something in here that I'm going to miss the first time. It was just so dialogue heavy, and I think it was very, very, expressed a lot of what was coming. Jeremy, compare that scene to the game a little bit, because I feel like this was probably something unique to the show. And what did you think about just the sheer content of the dialogue?
Yeah, a lot of exposition dump from. Oh, it's a great shot. That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, from this guy who is again kind of another one of your big bads of this
series. It's weird. I wish I had gone back. I don't know where I could try to find it now, but there was something else. Someone compared the date that Mr. House told Cooper that it was actually only a few minutes off. It was the same date. There was something in the game that happened. I think I ignored it because I thought, oh, it was gonna be spoilers. But he was actually almost right on the money with like the date and time. It was something, I don't know if it was something to do with West Tech or like maybe even Vault-Tec or Robco. I don't remember what it was. That something happened at that time. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice. That had something to do with that. But that is interesting that it's actually his daughter's birthday. So I'm like, well, what does that have to do with, like, what does that tie into? Because I'm like, if you know, like the actual date the bombs fell was October 23rd, 2077. So he's still not really that close. So I think that's the thing, is there may be things that are still going to be in play that like what your line says, like, I don't know how you figure into this yet. It's like, yeah, he's not quite sure. He's that one bit of the equation that he can't figure out. That's a weird loose end or anomaly that's not taken into account yet. And I was thinking it's like some weird butterfly effect where I'm like, he still has things he could do, things that he could or not do. That could still be a consequence and set things in motion to, what happens, eventually happens. As for I'm not really sure if that was why it gets ever explained. I do love the
the whole that Mr. House has the cold fusion thing to be able to keep himself alive. Because he does, that's essentially what it is. There's the big room when you come into Vegas, or specifically you go into the Lucky 38. You see the big TV there with his face on it. His consciousness is basically uplinked to this, to that system, to the building. But you go, I think to the, I'm trying to remember, because I usually do it so damn fast. I walk in, open the door, shoot him, and I walk out because I'm like, I'm not dealing with you, dude. You can't do that. I mean, you can't just completely just blow him off and just, put one in his dome. I think you go to the left, you go behind some Securitrons, open the door, and you go down a hallway. And then you see the life support system that's been keeping his body, again, keeping his conscience alive for about 200 plus years. So, like I said, whatever this cold fusion thing is everyone seems to, it has something that it can help them with whatever means they're like with the Brotherhood. It can be, hey, we can have power cores for, to the end of time. Mr. House is thinking, oh, I can keep myself alive basically until the end of time. Right. Now, while Vegas doesn't have, destroyed buildings like the rest of the wasteland, you wonder why. It's because, yes, he did make the system that targeted the bombs before they even got to Vegas. So you kind of wonder why this weird little gem of, this whole wasteland is just kind of relatively untouched. So it's like, yeah, maybe he's not like a bad guy, but he is, again, trying to just keep, it's selfish reasons he's keeping himself alive to further his means of control. That's what the platinum chip is for. If you give it to Mr. House, he can upload that thing into his brain, basically into all the Securitron robots and just, take over Vegas. So yeah, that's my long-winded way of saying that's a cool backstory of like, okay, so this is why he has the cold fusion and why it's going to keep him alive. Because again, somebody who has that will to keep himself alive for this long, obviously, it's the motives that you have behind it. That's a scary notion.
Where was that? Sorry, I was doing something else. I got lost in my notes.
Get lost in
but I think it's that's part of the problem is so much about this stuff, and all I really know is I'm trying to put together what I'm thinking off your vast knowledge. I can't process it all as fast as you with this stuff, but I do find it interesting that House is kind of for lack of a better word, an overseer of all this stuff. It's like he's the Willy Wonka of this thing. He kind of has his finger on everything in every pie. So. But it seems to me like even there is some kind of a wild card out there that does have him concerned. And I wonder, did he deal with that wild card before they initiated their plan? Or is there still something out there that he is hoping is not going to come around and bite him in the ass in the end? I'm wondering if that wild card maybe hadn't been born at the time, and maybe that wild card is Lucy. Because I feel like if the wild card was Coop, he would have said straight out, "You're the one who I'm worried about." But he does. But he's like, but I also worry about something else that I don't know about right now. I don't have my in my sights yet, and I wonder if maybe that's just Lucy.
I also wonder if you don't probably expect Cooper to still be alive right now. I think that might be the other wild card. Is he's like, would he have expected him to survive and then still be a ghoul all this time, still trying to hunt him down and still trying to look for his family? So. Like I said, in the long term of what's going on, like that still could be a weird wild card that it's going to catch up to you at some point. Because I'm still curious that we haven't seen what Mr. House's current situation is. Because I'm like, in the game, there's people all over the strip of New Vegas. There's NCR everywhere. There's patrons going to the hotels, going to the tables, going, all this stuff. There's the different gangs that run like some of the casinos, like the Omertas, the White Glove Society, which screw them. They're a bunch of creepy ass cannibals. Spoiler. They dressed up in their fancy ass, like ritzy, tuxes, actual white gloves, and like masquerade masks, but they eat people. So it's a weird place,
Yeah, well, it's the nuclear apocalypse, so normal is going to be a word you don't mention much around. It doesn't get thrown around.
Not the worst, but yeah, but man, those guys are creepy as shit.
I also forgot when I looked up the Vault 21 that's on the strip.
The overseer actually happens to in fact be Mr. House, so he does have that going for him too, I suppose.
Do you think that we're going to see Mr. House at some point this season? Maybe we already have, because like I said, we're a couple episodes behind. I don't know if you've been watching them as they've come out, but I've been trying to watch them right before we review them because I don't want to get too far ahead.
I just watched. I've watched the ones right before we're about to review it, so I have not caught up yet. But now that Stranger Things has ended, I'm kind of like, maybe now I'll just start catching up so we can actually, review them and get caught up ourselves. So no, I've just been, as far as we've reviewed, I've only watched up to that point. And that's what I'm saying. We have not seen him yet, so I'm not sure what his current state is, because again, with some of these ones that we have seen, like we've seen the King, we've seen Caesar. I'm like, I wasn't expecting that, and I'm like, I kind of in a weird way, I'm glad. I'm like, well, they're dead, or they've been dead rather. In Caesar's case, Lucy shot the King right outside of the right outside of the Vegas Strip. Anyway, we kind of dealt with some cons, but not like Papa Con. We haven't seen him. We haven't seen President Kimball, the president of the NCR. We haven't seen him yet. I'm trying to think of who else. We haven't seen Yes Man, which is really weird. We saw Victor again, pre-war Victor. That was cool. I love that first meeting because obviously I don't think they've met yet. He just goes like, "Howdy, partner." He's just like, "Howdy," like he's confused. Like, the hell are you, man? I lost where I was going there. Oh yeah, Mr. House. We haven't seen him, so I don't know what his situation is, because I feel like that's a pretty important one to. I don't know what they're planning on doing with it. So
I feel like he's probably going to show up like last episode, and that'll be something. It'll act as a bit of a cliffhanger for what we can expect next season to be, because we've already talked about it. They've already greenlit season 3, which makes me excited. And so they're gonna set up some. And remember, there's only 3 episodes left that we haven't reviewed yet. I think the last episode actually comes out next week. Maybe there's 8 episodes, something like that. But so there's we're going to hit that stretch where they're going to start setting up a lot of stuff for storylines for season 3, while tying up some of the stuff that is happening now. And with the end of this episode, obviously, and we'll talk about more in a minute. Hank and Lucy have combined again, and exactly how that looks, we're not going to exactly see until we watch the next episode. But they're back. We finally have an idea as to where the Ghoul's family is. We see him left on a pike, so to speak, at the very end of this episode. Obviously, he's going to have to. Some things are going to have to happen for his character in the course of the next few episodes. But yeah, it's there's a lot of variables that they're going to start putting out there to set up season 3, and that's going to make it really, really interesting. But as we get back to the present day, you just mentioned it. Hank grabs the traveling salesman, the courier, and brings him back to the lab for some experimentation. He gets him wired into the Neuralink. This time, though, his head does not explode. Hank manages to successfully work on him, and as the camera pans across, we also see that there are 2 cryopods for both the Ghoul's wife, and right above that, the Ghoul's kid.
Danny. So
they are definitely there. They are in cryostasis. They are alive. So his searching is not for nothing. Go ahead. If you're going to say something, go ahead.
No, I said so to speak. Sorry, I'm not saying I'm trying to speak. No. I said so to speak, though, because I'm like, we didn't see the inside of the pod. They were like frosted over. I'm like, I didn't see a body. I know that's the hope.
True. Because I kind of wonder that about Mr. House as well, because I don't know if it's that he wants to live forever or that he wants to be in control all the time. Because when he said, because the way that he describes his situation to me, it's that I want to put my mind into the computer so that I can run in perpetuity, like for however long it takes. 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years, I will always be in control. If he's in a cryopod, A, he's not actually controlling anything. He's just frozen. And B, he probably doesn't trust his own people enough to not, he doesn't believe that they're going to go for 100 years and kind of look at each other and be like, why are we going to defrost this dude? Why can't we just be in charge? Or one person might kind of take power while he's on ice and just decide to thaw him out and throw him in the fucking river and be done with him. So I wonder, is he frozen somewhere? Is he in a computer? Because I think that's what he's describing that he wants to do, is that he wants his intellect, his intelligence, his whatever
to be
constantly running things like Ultron to make that comparison.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But anyway, meanwhile, the Vault survivors, and I don't know what the hell I did with all those pictures. Let's see. I'll just go with this one. This is the first one I found. Meanwhile, the rabble of Vault Tech survivors, led by Norm, shows up at a strange dwelling being used as a makeshift roach farm. Funnily enough, other than Ma June and Barv are the ones hiding out there. And boy, did they have
love those two.
Oh, I do love those two. I just play with old ladies.
You know what? I'm usually opposed to spin-offs, but for fuck's sake, can I have a real just short spin-off of these two? Because it'd be fucking hilarious.
A Marvel one-off. I don't know why Marvel stopped doing the one-offs. Those were so entertaining.
Yeah. I would love a one-off with these two right here.
Yeah, give me a couple of one-offs of some of these funnier characters. The old ladies, the courier. I mean, you could do some funny things with him.
Oh yeah.
But I think you can do some funny things. But yeah. But they obviously ran across Lucy in season 1, and they let Norm know as much when he asked about them. We get a brief recap of events from season 1, ending with Ma June claiming that Lucy has died. Obviously, she doesn't know this for sure. She's just making a grand assumption, and I guess one could look at the outside world and say, yeah, most people would have trouble surviving. The group continues on, eventually making it to Vault Tech. Where's my picture of Vault Tech? There it is. Eventually making it to Vault Tech. Where's I at? Where they find the offices completely abandoned. Speaking to Claudia, one of the Vault members, Norm heads into Barb's office, and they go to check the computer together. Let's see. She warns that the others won't take it well if they find out. And obviously, Claudia tells Norm that she knows that he's not Bud's successor, and that he's not who he says he is. She warns that the others won't take it well if they find out. But unfortunately, your boy Ronnie is eavesdropping and he hears everything. Let's see. As Norm is checking the computer and trying to find an entry for something called the forced evolutionary virus, which he brought up in the last review, Ronnie attacks Norm. The pair wrestles a little bit, but until Ronnie chokes Norm out, leaving him unconscious. He didn't kill him; he just choked him out.
Right.
Boy, that was a pretty crazy sequence when all that went down. Jeremy, you kind of you were the Nosferatu, or not Nosferatu, the fucking, who's the guy that supposedly told the future? God damn, I drew a blank.
Nostradamus.
Yeah, Nostradamus. You Nostradamus the shit out of that one, that he was going to be a problem. Not that it did make it kind of obvious, but you Nostradamus the hell out of that one. What do you think of that whole sequence? Because he's coming really close to finding some answers that you were talking about last episode, and Ronnie is the one that kind of comes in and fucks the whole thing up. What do you think of that whole sequence?
Yeah, it's, and like I said, it's, even if you know something about the game, again, something is horrifying and is intrinsic to Fallout as the forced evolutionary virus, it still it still shakes you a little bit. You're like, oh shit, and seeing it for the first time in the show, if if you didn't catch it, because I guess I'm a damn nerd. I saw what did it say, future endeavors, future enterprise ventures, or whatever the hell, and I was like, that's not what that means. Like, I'm still kind of holding my breath, like, is that really where we're going? Because that's a bigger implication. Again, there's big things that they're kind of introducing to this. That's it's got some heavy implications to it. I figured Lunch Boy was going to be a problem. Of course, he's eavesdropping on Norm and what's her name, who seems to be the only other sensible person in the room. Because I was kind of noticing that too, and Norm did too, where they both she was like, yeah, you're not really who you say you are. And he's like, yeah, how'd you know? She's like, well, because you're not completely nuts like the rest of them. Like, yeah, and he's kind of like, yeah, but you seem like you have a good head on your shoulders too. Like,
and in her mind, she just got hired a week ago, so she figured that stuff out in like a week.
That is pretty funny.
They're all a bit messed up upstairs.
Yeah, they're all just yes men to, they don't really ask questions. They just kind of go for it, which is, a dangerous dangerous thought. And it sucks because as she goes off to go find a drink, and I was like, see, I like you. I like this girl. And I'm like, damn it, I've seen a thing before. She's going to fucking die now, isn't she? something stupid. Or I was hoping when that shot there when he Lunch Boy, he was about like 5 times bigger than fucking Norm, like strangles him with the cord. Yeah, that poor dude. I was like, lady, you need to come in right now and crack a cold one over this dude's head, like right now. You need to crack him with one of those like bottles of vodka or something. Like, god damn it! But she didn't, unfortunately. So I don't know, man. It's like I can't believe that that's where it ends for Norm. But yeah, he's not in a good place right now. And I wonder what he's gonna say, Lunch Boy. What he's gonna say when he goes out there and Norm's just gone. Like, is he gonna try to again be like, "Hey, I bought everybody lunch. I know what I'm doing." Like, you know, shut up, dude. You probably heard one thing, and again, you're still in the dark too. You don't even actually know what it means. Norm saw that for a split second when he saw the screen actually come up with the forced evolutionary virus. So the only one who really has kind of an inkling of what's going on is Norm, and he's taking a little nap right now. So
yeah, part of me feels like that Ronnie guy. He's got
Ronnie,
the aura of of like a sleeper agent about him. Like he's like the cook that tries to blow up the ship at the end of Hunt for Red October. He wasn't really just the cook. He was actually like a super secret agent that was put there to kind of watch over everybody else. I feel like he's something like that. Now
I was like in Firefly, like, yeah, the preacher. But he's definitely done some shit in his life, hasn't he? And he's never going to explain that.
I get that hint from him. I don't think that's what he is, because there's some dialogue when he's first talking about like the FEV and all that.
He seems oblivious.
He seems a bit goofy and oblivious, but he is obviously someone who knows enough and who's bought into what Vault Tech was trying to do enough that he's like, well, if I'm the one that's around here right now that can push this agenda that I agree with forward, then I'm going to do it. So maybe he's not there as a sleeper agent. He's just one of the guys who's completely sold out to what House or Vault Tech or any of those guys wanted to do. But I wonder if in the next episode, and I know you've seen it, so don't spoil anything for me, but if in the next episode, if we don't kind of pick up right where that scene leaves off, maybe the girl does walk back into the room and then, hits him, knocks him out, whatever, to kind of like give a little skinny dude, little scrawny dude a chance to kind of get up and catch his breath again. Because I feel, because she does mention in a bit of foreshadowing, if the other people find out, they may not like it. Obviously, that guy Ronnie now knows he's not going to be quiet about it. At least that's not the impression that I get. So maybe they have to make a decision in the moment. Does that guy, catch the big ride baby, or is he? Or are they just going to like hope he doesn't say anything? I don't know. I feel like, situationally he just needs to die, but I don't know if they're going to do that or not. But yeah, it's definitely interesting because now the secret's out.
He doesn't seem equipped for this world, though. I mean, he might get jumped by a rad roach like the salesman did, and just that might take you out. Something as simple as that.
But he's capable enough and aware enough to where he sees what's happening and he knows that he has to do something about like a little boy. What's his name?
Norm.
Damn, why am I so? Norm. Yeah, he has. Norm. He's aware enough to know that he has to do something about Norm to cover his own ass with his boss. Now he may be surprised as hell to run into some mutated scorpion or rad roach or something like that, but I feel like he could probably handle himself. If it's one of those things, he might be able to handle himself. He gets hit by more than one of them, it might be a bigger problem, but I feel like he's aware enough. Now he's got a 50-50 chance, which is more than what most people, like Lucy walking out of a vault, not knowing what the hell is on the surface. She probably didn't stand much of a chance about anything until she runs into somebody like the Ghoul, who's at least willing to partner up with her for a while. But I feel like he's got a better chance than most. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, Death Claw. Yeah, let him run into a Death. Yeah, it's almost over for everybody if you run into a Death Claw. Especially 3 of them. I still kind of giggle and roll my eyes. I'm like, really? You just shot a grenade to distract him and then ran away? It seems kind of silly. You can't have the good guys die in the middle of the season like that. It's not really how it works. Yeah. Last of Us got away with it. Last of Us got away with it, but I mean,
I'm glad they did mention the quarry junction, because I was like, that's usually where they're at. I'm like, they're not really in Vegas. Like, there's a quarry on part of the map. Well, like I said, there's just families of those things living there, and it's a terrifying place to go by. I mean, I like to wave it as I walk by. Like, I don't go in there. Like I said, unless I'm bored and I got some extra 50 cows burning a hole in my pocket, then maybe I might go hunting for a bit. But Yeah, it's kind of crazy that they wandered into the strip. Yeah.
But, going back to New Vegas now, and what I guess is the modern time, Lucy and the ghoul eventually reconvene in the room, but they are not alone. The traveling salesman from earlier has been completely rewritten. He's eloquent, polite, and drops a message to them that Hank is in a secure underground bunker, and there's no way they'll find him. He also brings up now that Hank is watching over the ghoul's wife and daughter as well, which leads us to a very interesting plot turn. Hank wants to make a deal. In exchange for keeping Barb and Janie safe, he wants Lucy brought back to the vault. Coop goes for the deal, leaving Lucy heartbroken, and seemingly knocks her out as she collapses to the ground and promises when she awakens that she will be back home again. However, Lucy gets a second win, dons her power fist, which I swear to God, I feel like this is exactly the power fist that they used in the first or second Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. It looks just like it. I remember thinking that when I looked at it before, as she was stealing it when it was up in the window. But however, Lucy gets a second win, dons her power fist, and punches the ghoul out the window, impaling him in the process. And one of the coolest falling scenes I've ever seen. The camera actually follows him down, and this is the exact view you get. And you can see at the bottom as the pole pierces his body and just comes up and goes, just underneath the camera view. That was a pretty cool shot. When Lucy regains consciousness, Hank is actually there watching over her. He touches her face kindly, calls her his sugar bomb, and then Lucy kind of floats back into unconsciousness, and that's where the episode ends. Boy, that was a lot really fast in the last few minutes of the episode. Yeah. And I was excited and blown away all at the same time. I think that's probably the most exciting few minutes of this series for me so far. Jeremy, again, a lot right there. A lot happens very fast in 2 or 3 key scenes in this episode. This is just the last point where it happens. What do you think of this scene, and where do we go from here?
Holy shit. Yeah. I think, you know what? I mean, it may have been a little corny, but it would have been pretty funny if Lucy at least managed to go over to the window after just yeeting him out, punching him right in the chest with that power fist. And as soon as he gets impaled, she should have been like, "Yeah, golden rule, motherfucker." If you're gonna have her finally drop her first curse word, that should have been it. It's yeah, that's exactly what the ghoul's talking about. I'm like, dude, you were on the other end of it this time. I mean, I don't think you or anybody, or even especially him, expected her to get up and just fucking punch him with that thing out the window. I was like, oh, damn. Yeah, I'm like, well, kind of deserved, man. I want to believe that the ghoul probably, that look he was giving, I don't know if you got that. That was a cool, him side-eyeing the shit out of the, when he was just he was death staring the salesman down. I was kind of like,
I don't think I got that. I don't think I got that exact shot. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, when he kept looking over at him, I was like, he has to know that you can't trust that, or there's got to be some other way around it that maybe he knows and we're not aware of yet. But I mean, this was part of the plot twist he wasn't expecting. The ghoul, rather. I don't know. That was definitely worth it. That was insane. And I was kind of hoping Lucy had a little bit left in her, a little bit of that residual drug. I'm like, just uppercut your dad right now. Boom, hit him with that power fist again. But alas, that's all the fight she had. So I'm surprised he was just there. I mean, he's got to be somewhat nearby. I don't know how long she was out, but yikes.
Well, I mean, I imagine Hank being close by makes sense because he needs to make sure the Neuralink chip is working the way that he wants it to work. Because I mean,
he's in Vegas somewhere,
hooking the courier up. I mean, yeah, he's got to be glad that he managed to turn it up the way he did, and his head didn't explode like so many other people did. But he probably does want to observe for a while and make sure things will go the way he wants them to go. So him being nearby was not a big shock. Him exposing him as being there to Lucy was kind of a surprise to me. I thought that he would have waited for her to pass out completely, then maybe gone and got her, and then when she wakes up, she doesn't know where she's at, and then maybe he comes out of the shadows. That might have been cool, but I mean, it's interesting because there's so many different places the story can go now. I mean, now she wakes up, she's going to know, so the questions are already going to be on her mind. The interesting thing to me, though, and you mentioned it, that look that was on the ghoul's face for this entire sequence, he's not comfortable. He's not happy with this. Maybe it's in part the fact that he can't get to his
hesitating.
wife and daughter. It's in part that maybe he has grown a little fond of Lucy. There is a relationship that is built there, and that he doesn't feel quite right selling her out for what she doesn't want. She wants to get to her dad. Her dad obviously doesn't want her around for whatever his reasons are, and maybe, and he understands that maybe it is safer for her to go back to 33 than it is for her to be wandering around the nuclear wasteland. Of course, he doesn't know that they're trying to find ways to get water, but I mean, he has to. Yeah, he's definitely not comfortable with this entire situation. And I think the reason why Lucy was able to get that one hit on him, power fist or no power fist, was that he was distracted by everything going on in the moment. That he let his guard down because of some emotion that he's feeling that he's probably not used to feeling. And like I said, there's a lot of things coming at him. What to do about Lucy, what to do about his family, whatever my decision, what do I do after this? There's a lot weighing on him right now, and that's why he ends up, ghoul on a stick. Because he let his guard down just one time, and Lucy sucker punched him out the window, and we have ghoul kebab. But yeah, that was a crazy ending. I mean, and also one of the worries is if he doesn't get what's that stuff he has to take to keep going feral. I don't think they talked about it a lot this year.
Yeah, it's just a drug that he keeps taking, something to keep himself from going feral. I'm not really sure exactly which drug it is, but it's just something he needs.
They haven't mentioned it a lot this season. I know they mentioned it a few times in the first season. I don't think they've really touched on it this season. But I mean, if he can't get to that stuff, then if nobody helps him down from that pole, because it happens pretty fast. He has to take that drug pretty regularly, pretty often to keep from going feral. So,
well, and radiation is what heals him, not like what normal stuff would do to people. So I was also like, oh, whoa. I mean, I heard Rachel audibly gasp, like, "Huh, what?" I was kind of like, "What? He's not like really dead. Like, he's a ghoul." I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, I was shocked as well. Yes, I was just like, "Oh, whoa! Well, that's a situation to be in now." Like, I don't know how you get out of that and what you do from that point forward, but I don't know. I was kind of just like, yeah, but that would be. I mean, we were talking about with Stranger Things. I'm like, man, if you just had the balls to kill this dude, like, I feel like that wouldn't be a wise decision. Like, I think they know that, but yeah, I don't know. You better get yourself back off that damn pole, break it, or somebody. I don't know, something.
And yeah, because I don't know that he necessarily has a lot of friends, and most people in that world, like whenever violence happens around them, and most people, whenever anything happens around them, they kind of just walk past it anyway. I mean, it's that strange shit is so normal to them that whenever a ghoul is impaled on a signpost, people just don't notice. They walk by. it's just part of the background. So maybe people don't care.
There is probably also BS that can, he's probably not going to just die like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But, I mean, obviously the next episode is going to answer a few of those questions. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this episode. You've seen the next episode, you said?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I have not.
Yeah, I where do you think it goes? What do you think is next? I mean, taking into account what you know about the game's storyline and the storyline they've given us for this, where do you think the next episode is going to go?
Well, we have, what is this, 5? So this will be 6 out of 8. I think. I'm assuming that Hank is probably going to take Lucy to wherever he's been hiding out. I think Lucy might finally see a little bit more of what's been going on with Hank, and maybe we'll even get some more answers as to what he's doing or who he's doing this for, or who he was even talking to. Which then maybe gives us like a hint as to what Mr. House is doing. Because, like I said, we've now, and I was surprised that I thought they weren't going to show some of the faction leaders that were in the actual game. Like I said, like Caesar or the King. And like I said, technically we see Mr. House. I'm like, right, but there's still about a 200-year gap here where we're not the end cap of the story here. I'm like, I don't know what he's doing right now. So, and again, that all depends because like there's so many ways the game can go. Who you decide to side with. So,
and he doesn't. Well, he may have had. I guess it would depend on if he did have the cold fusion stuff anyway, or if he somehow he did figure out how to keep himself alive, just kind of Walt Disney himself on ice there for a minute. Because as far as we know, Max has the cold fusion thing that they stole from the Brotherhood. So, yeah, wherever he's going with that. So, yeah, I think we'll dive more into the weeds of what Hank's been doing and for whom. So maybe that'll be a big reveal. Because, like I said, if that's something setting up for season 3, that's two of your big bads right there with Hank McLean and Mr. House. Hopefully, and somebody please get the ghoul down off the pole. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, I have a feeling the next episode might be very Maximus centric because we haven't gotten him at all this episode, and he's been
right.
And while he's had some significant things happen to him over the course of a couple episodes, he hasn't really been around much these first 6 episodes. Like 3 and 4, he was pretty heavily involved. 2 and then 3 and 4, he's pretty heavily involved, and then this episode he's not in at all. He's really only a credited actor, and then we have a lot more we have to go into with him. So I have a feeling the next episode might be kind of heavy on him, but I'm definitely looking forward to see how the ghoul gets off his pole, because I don't imagine he's got a lot of friends. You said to yourself, ghouls are not looked well upon. I would imagine somebody he knows is going to have to come up there and help him down. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the lady who served flea soup is going to recognize him and she's going to help him down. Like, here, have some flea soup. It'll heal your impalement. But
or maybe Hank goes down there and tries to help him because it's like that was the deal. He's like, well, you did give me my daughter, and you can't really have your end of the deal if you're dead. I'm like, maybe he's that.
Yeah, but I don't see Hank helping anybody do anything he doesn't have to do, because Hank is the kind of guy who he's not going to do anything for them unless he gets something. So now I can see him saying, "Oh, well, if you're still willing to take Lucy back to Vault 33, then here, I'll cut you down." But I feel like that might not be on the table since he showed himself to Lucy, because I think that was the idea. Yeah. Oh, yeah. True. But I mean, it's just I don't know. I don't see Hank doing that unless he benefits from it. He's that kind of character. But I don't know. And I'll use this once because I get to use it. Him riding the bomb was actually hilarious as hell. The whole sequence of him getting drunk.
Dr. Strangelove.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
I kind of want one of those now. I'm not going to lie. Just throw that in my backyard.
Yeah, just like a mechanical bull that's in the shape of a fucking ICBM. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. I think that'd be kind of fun to have in the backyard. One of us needs that in the backyard. I think we can make that work. I think we can work that out.
Right.
We can figure that out. Both of us have backyards big enough for that, I think. So I think we should just both get one. We can do the barefoot beer run. We'll do the barefoot beer run around that thing. Just a couple laps around there. Do the barefoot beer run. God. You got to run, get your beer, then you got to jump onto the bomb and ride it for 6 seconds, just like a real cowboy.
Oh Jesus, that's the finish right there.
That'd be great.
And then you get the belt buckle. It's the big
big
bomb cap or some shit.
Big bomb and a beer. Big bomb and a beer.
Right.
But again, another interesting episode. A whole lot of story stuff in here. Jeremy, give me your final quick thoughts on this episode, and then we'll get out of here.
There was some crazy shit that happened in this episode. Obviously, kind of happened really, really fast. And I'm curious as to where this goes. And again, I'm still interested in seeing, this looming threat of Hank. I kind of really want to, like I said, get into the weeds of what he's been doing and what he plans. Because that's the thing. I don't know what he plans on doing with Lucy now. Like, what is he going to say to her? Like, how's he going to explain anything that she might have found out along the way? You know what I mean? Like, hey, Dad, you casually just like blew up an entire city and then read me a bedtime story when I was a kid. Like, the fuck? You know what I mean? The ghoul kind of mentioned it. I don't know if he maybe told her, because he just kind of mentioned, like, would the NCR help you if they knew who your dad was? And she's kind of like, what? What are you talking about? Like, so I don't know if she's maybe been told those things. So that interaction, I'm excited to see. And again, I said there's weird stuff in Fallout, so I'm not like super worried because I don't feel like they're just gonna kill off the ghoul. But I'm curious how you.
I don't think they're gonna kill him off either. I don't think they kill him off.
No, I'm just curious how you get out of the situation and how you get out of it. Like, there's cybernetics, there's all kinds of crazy shit in Fallout. I'm not sure this is a throw drugs and radiation at it problem. I think might a little bit more need more help than that. So,
Yeah, this to me, this episode leaves all the characters in very interesting places.
Yes,
Very interesting places.
For
You know, like
sure.
you said, when Hank and Lucy, they have finally are in the same space now. What happens?
Yeah.
The ghoul is very vulnerable right now, and he's on a spit. What's happening? What's going to happen to him? There's still so much about Maximus that needs to be resolved in these next couple episodes. He killed Xander. Did he start? He's obviously started a civil war. We saw the ship shooting each other as he was walking away. He has the cold fusion. What's he going to do with it? All the characters are in very interesting places right now, and I'm interested to see what the next 3 episodes brings. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Thanks to Jeremy, as always, for being so Fallout smart and filling in the gaps for me and my Fallout not smartness. Where can the folks don't find you, my friend?
Apparently, I just have a higher intelligence stat on that one. Apparently.
Hey, whatever. I mean, it works.
And charisma, which helps speech, so I guess that also helps. Yeah, I'm. Excuse me, God, I'm here Tuesday and Thursdays. Like I said, now I think we're just kind of heavy on the Fallout. Be able to catch back up. So I might watch the next episode like this weekend or something. The next one, and then there's one. I don't know. I don't even know what we're on. I'll catch up.
Well, there's 3 episodes left, right? 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah.
So that we haven't done. So we're gonna do 6 on what is today? Thursday. So we'll do 6 on Tuesday. And then 7 on Wednesday, and I guess next Tuesday is when I think the episode 8 will be out by then. So the next 3 episodes are going to be all Fallout, and we're going to do the rest of season 2, which I'm looking forward to. The timing all worked out. I'm kind of lucky. Very strange release schedule for the end of the year, but it all worked out. But we'll be back all Fallout for the next week and a half. We're going to catch all this stuff up, and it's going to be fun. And then obviously we'll make some predictions for the final episode before we get there, and then give you our thoughts on what we think episode 3 is going to bring. But thanks to all of you for watching. It's very much appreciated. We'll be back here on. Why did my music not play? That's weird. Anyway, there it is. Maybe it was just.
Yeah.
We were back here on Tuesday before Fallout. Be good to one another. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for being here. Adios. I have questions, though. I'm going to have to pick your brain for a minute when we go off air because I wonder things.
That's
they're not spoilery things. They're just things that I wonder. Maybe they're significant. I don't know. I don't know. You're Fallout smarter than me, so I'm just gonna spit wad, and hopefully you'll nod at me and be like maybe, or then you'll look at me and be like you're an idiot. Stop thinking such stupid things. Either which way, I mean it's gonna help.
No, I got you.
Bye, everybody.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.